I want to welcome you to Living Truth. I'm Carnage Wright. You know, sometimes this journey feels like standing in the middle of pure, undressed chaos. Everything swirling, expectations, the way they tell you to submit and swell and dwell, just stuff passed down that gets heavy inside. I always wondered, when did I start calling all that order? Because, honestly, order mostly just seemed like me carrying a mask and trying to tuck away the messy half of my heart. I mean, I guess really a lot of us are handed this script, right? This is how you're supposed to act. This is how you're supposed to think. It's like hereditary chains. But man, those same chains started to burn away when I actually let myself feel. And I'm not talking about some big spiritual awakening out of nowhere. I'm saying there was this day, so low I could barely move, couldn't even look anyone in the eye. The only thing that made sense was to write. Grab a pen, hit a page, just let all that noise out. Thinking back, that's when my ministry started, even if I didn't know it yet. It was poetry at rock bottom, a lifeline pulling me up. That pain, that ache, once I leaned in, it turned into something that helped not just me, but others going through their own silent battles. That's the kingdom within, cutting through the noise. When you lift the mask and open your chest, yeah, it gets uncomfortable, but you start to hear the real music. Creative expression, man, that's been everything for me. The way a song, or even just a melody, carves space inside so you can breathe. How every note or every line of a poem lets you say what you didn't have the words for out loud. Music, it's therapy, it's confession, it's a bridge right back to yourself. And when I listen back to the stuff I make, or I see people's faces when I've performed, I know deep down, I'm not alone in this. None of us are. So, even in the mess of chaos, there's a symphony humming. We just gotta stop, listen, and sometimes risk adding our own tune. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. The more I opened up, the more I realized breaking those old patterns, that's the first move toward freedom. It starts out ugly, but every scar, every song, every little act of honest expression, it's a rebellion against the chaos. And you find, even in the storm, there's a rhythm that's strictly your own. And maybe that's what being real is all about. Now, if we're talking about rebellion, let's talk about the big stage, the so-called spotlight. It's strange how chasing that spotlight will chew you up and spit you out, especially if you ain't careful. I ain't gotta tell you, the world is obsessed with celebrity. Everybody wants to be seen, to be needed. But most of what glitters, well, it don't shine nearly as bright from backstage. Reality is, fame's a mask, just a glossier one. You see those magazine covers and trending clips, man, there's a whole machine crafting those moments, polishing them up till nothing real shows through. But behind it all, that's where you meet the grind. The grueling contracts, the pressure to look a certain way, sound a certain way, all to keep up an illusion none of us ever truly fit. And the cost? Oof, it's heavy. Sometimes I look back at those stories, especially about kids, child stars, you know. They get plucked out of their lives, tossed right into the deep end, and half the time the ones closest to them don't know how to swim either. Folks forget, fame is built on vulnerability. It attracts the spotlight, but also the predators. The industry ain't short on people looking to exploit someone desperate for acceptance. But it ain't just the industry's at fault, is it? Sometimes it's our own hunger for validation. I've been there. Giving up sleep, sanity, sometimes your health, just to hold on to that fleeting thrill of being recognized by strangers, no less. And for what? It'll leave you emotionally wrung out, sometimes worse off than you started. I mean, we see it all the time. The cost of being seen is often being misunderstood or flat out used. Let's not pretend it's all glamorous. The illusion of fame tricks us into swallowing stories about what matters. But if you dig even a little, you see cracks everywhere. Broken dreams, lost innocence, especially among the young and vulnerable. So next time you find yourself envying that life, just remember, for every person who makes it, there's dozens lost in the shadow. And that weight, it's real. We gotta be loud for 'em, guard each other, remind the world that a person's worth ain't measured by how many people are watching, but by who's really, fully seeing them. And if you're still with me, let's dig even deeper. Names. Not just the ones folks call you, but the ones you answer to in your soul. And get this, the ones printed in all caps on documents. Yeah, the legal stuff. I'll tell you, the first time I saw my name written that way, something inside me clicked. Like, wait, who decided this is what I am? There's a whole system built to mold you, tag you, track you. Spiritual, ancestral, legal. Your name holds power in every one of those places. But somewhere along the way, we're taught to forget that. Instead, it's just paperwork, labels. But nah, your name is your signature on creation, a claim to your own story. When you step to the truth of it, it's like, whoa, the system shakes a little. Sovereignty. It's a big word, but it really means remembering you're not a product of these man-made systems. You got rights nothing and nobody gave you, stuff that's inherent, inalienable. We too often sign our lives away, our voices, our assets, our identities, just because the process is confusing on purpose. But step one of reclaiming freedom, it's realizing you're not a line item, you're the author. I might ramble here, but the legal game? It's not about breaking laws. It's about asking questions. What are you? Who gave you that power? Did I consent to this? The world is counting on us being quiet, going along. But when you start asking, even if you sound crazy at first, new doors open. I guess for me, realizing the difference between what's legal, what's lawful, and what's spiritual, man, that's been a trip. It set me on a hunt for truth, a hunger that's never left. And I know somewhere out there, someone else is just starting out, feeling lost because their true name hasn't been called yet. To you, keep searching. Name yourself. Reclaim sovereignty, because the system will call you whatever makes it easier to control you. But you were born free. That's a fact. That's where I'll leave it today. We're all just trying to live through resonance, not in the noise, but through the truth, pain and all. Until next time, keep seeking, keep naming your own freedom. I'll meet you on the journey.